Hello everyone and welcome back to another Thomas Wooden Railway review. This review is on Murdoch. So as you all probably know, Murdoch was introduced in the 7th season of the Thomas and Friends TV series in the episode Peace and Quiet, and he really wasn't seen much after that. I think he cameoed a couple times throughout the rest of the series, but he's never been seen in the CGI era. He is purely a model character, and that's unfortunate because I really like Murdoch. I think that the host of characters that were introduced in Season 7, minus Emily, I really want to see them all return with Murdoch and Arthur. So anyway, moving on to Murdoch's model, he was introduced in 2004 to coincide with his introduction into the TV series. That's when I got mine. I got mine, I think, Christmas of 2004 as a present. And then he was retired in 2010. So anyway, let's take a look at Murdoch's model. Murdoch's model is actually one of the more interesting Thomas Wooden Railway models, as it's comprised of mainly wood, but there's plastic thrown in where you wouldn't think that there would be plastic. Like this running board right here, that's all plastic, which again is an interesting way to use plastic. His smoke deflectors are plastic as well, so is his smoke box and his face. But then everything else is wood. His bogies are wood. Even this one right here, that's wood. But this part and his smoke deflectors and his face and a smoke box, they're all plastic, which once again is interesting. Murdoch is also one of the few characters to actually use this six-wheeled bogie style. I know that Arthur uses this style of wheel configuration as well, and so do Connor and Caitlin. And that's basically where you have 6 wheels on one really long bogie, and then you have 2 other wheels on a fixed bogie up at the top. And yeah, you can see it hanging down there. So this is how Murdoch looks whenever he turns. So it's interesting. It's also kind of weird too. But anyway, here's the side. It's incredibly simplistic, but that's how Murdoch looked in the TV show. There's his name on the side as well, with a little handrail there across his boiler. There's his cab. There's the back. The other side is exactly the same. There's his face. His face is really good as well. I really like his face. So yeah, that is Murdoch's model. It's very simplistic. Let's take a look at his tender as well. Here's his tender. There's the side. It's basically just a green outline around it. There's the other side, exactly the same. There's his coal, and then you also see this little white circle here. That's actually where you put the water in a tender engine. And as a kid, I never thought that that's where you put the water, that the water goes in the tender. I always thought that you put the water in through the dome for some reason, because that's where the boiler is, I suppose. But that's where I also applaud Murdoch and Spencer's model, is because they have this little circle there to tell kids that, hey, this is where you put the water. You're not supposed to put the water through the dome. That's not where it goes. And then on the back is also a little green outline around that. On the bottom of Murdoch's tender, there's nothing on the front. And we forgot to check Murdoch's wheel dates, but they are going to be 2003, because after 2003 is when Learning Curve got extremely lazy and said, hey, we're just gonna not print new dates on the wheels anymore. I don't know why it's not focusing. So now it's time to move on to ratings and recommends. I'd give Murdoch's model an absolute 10 out of 10. I think it represents his TV series model extremely accurately. And personally, I think he's probably one of the best TWR models that was ever produced in terms of accuracy. Would I recommend that you pick up Murdoch? Absolutely. I mean, I love his model. It's simplistic. It captures his character perfectly. So that's my TWR review on Murdoch. I want to thank y'all for watching, and as always, good night, everybody. Alright, are we done with the review already? God, I'd rather go and share the shed with chatterboxes. There's no need to be rude, Murdoch.